What is up, y'all? Forgot to do another PT Cruiser update. I've been really busting through it the last couple days, so we're just gonna get right into it. Yeah, first off, it's got some meats on it. Remember those wheel cylinders, those centers, welding centers I got from Urban? Well, I used them as a template, and I drilled out the Cavalier bolt pattern and bolted those on. I still gotta get some more washers, but that will work. I've got them on both sides, and they look really good on there. So before we get to the front, because I got some notes for anyone that's building one of these cars, we'll come back around here. We'll start from the rear. Wiper motor's out. Most of the, or pretty much all of the interior is out. That radiator is from a Taurus. It's a spare. Yeah. I don't remember what the last video on this car showed, but I still got to pull the sunroof out. The driver's side, the driver door panel, and I got to finish pulling the rest of that dash crap out. But yeah. These are literally just sitting in there. You can see all that structure. Let me pop this back in, just so it kind of looks like a car. Or not. Okay, we'll just leave that out. Also, back bumper cover is off. And FYI, you build one of these, this back bumper, you can literally unbolt it, flip it 180, put one bolt in, and put it upside down, and you can see this edge here, which was the bottom, you sit up against this lip, so you can see how far I raised this bumper. I got about 3 inches of lift out of it now. And if you look at the, see if I can get, you can see the frame is about right here. It's just a little bit higher than the frame, so that way it'll help roll this up. And I just threw the bumper cover back on and the taillights back in just for fun. But all the wiring's already been pulled out of the taillights right there, which is real simple. There's actually the hatch is completely unplugged now, so there's nothing going to the hatch. Most of the hatch is pretty well gutted. Yeah. So we'll come around here. Carpet's completely out. Door panels are off. Except for that door panel. Driver's side seats bolted back in. Probably not for just for temporary anyway. I still got to pull the window regulators out, but that will wait until the windows are out, along with these rods here, because I pull those out just for safety. And all the power window motors work, so I'm saving those because they are worth something. And I got the airbags there and whatnot. Careful when you pull these seat belts out of the front. The front two seat belts. Let me grab this real quick. Oh, I'm stepping in mud. Yeah. When you go to build one of these cars, there's a passenger airbag, there's a steering wheel airbag. Both front seats have airbags in them, so you have to be very careful. And also on these cars, the front two seat belts, yeah, it's a yellow plug. Yeah, this is danger, and not to the manifold. These are the explodey, right there. There's your cap and all. These are the explodey retractor seatbelts. So when you get in an accident and the airbags are deployed, it will pop this, and it will suck the seatbelt in tight. So be careful with these, because they are literally little miniature shotguns, basically. And they are worth money. So I got the entire airbag system. I still got to pull this brain box here out, which is for the airbag. And I will sell all that as one unit. And there's also little modules inside the here I got to pull out for the airbag system. I should be able to get something out of that. But yeah. Sunroof still works for right now. There is a connector right there, that red connector, and this red connector, and all this harness going to the ceiling will be unplugged. A lot of this other harnesses will come out. This dash came out actually pretty easily. I left this in so I can get the windows up and down, whatnot. Had to plug this vacuum port for now. I think I've already fixed that under the hood. I'm not sure. I don't really care. Radio. Unfortunately, with this car, I will have to leave this button in. It's for the traction control. So as soon as I start the car up, I need to hit this to turn the traction control off, or it limits my power in the wheel spin, which is stupid. It will run without the gauge cluster. I may leave it in. I don't know yet. I gotta finish taking all this this dash support bar out. I'm gonna modify it. And I also gotta take out this HVAC system and vents and all their crap. But yeah, there's your inside. Oh, I stepped in a big mud pile. Awesome. Yeah. Come around to the front, getting the rest of the AC junk out. An awesome header. Very simple header on these. All I did was make basically a complete U-bend. Pry it up and then just hose clamp it right to the manifold. There's enough room, you can do that. Pretty simple. The air box, I'm gonna modify it. I'm gonna modify this so it's got some more room to wiggle. You do need this. This is your main computer to run the engine. You need that. It's already in a safe spot. You don't have to touch it. This, however, is the computer to run the transmission. This needs to be relocated. But there is enough line, enough slack in this here to be able to put this computer right up here where it'd be safe. So not a big deal. I'll probably just bring it right up here and zip tie it up to this computer. Not a big deal at all. Of course the battery's gotta be relocated and that box will be moved out. Not a big deal, typical stuff. You know, all the AC crap's out. Another big thing on these, the fuel system. There's only one line. This is your fuel line right here, going to there. And yes, this is a plastic line going to the main harness or hard line, whatever you want to call it, to the fuel rail. These are very prone to leaking right here. So luckily there's enough here. I'm gonna cut this end off and stick a hose over it. Actually, I'll probably just leave that barb on there, take this off. Put a hose over it and double clamp it, and do the same right up here. There might be just enough sticking out. I can put a clamp or two on there to get rid of this because it's kind of sketchy. The fuel system is a returnless system. There's only one line. There's a regulator back by the tank, which I will figure that out in the next video when you see this, hopefully. When I figure that system out. It shouldn't be too hard at all. And get the gas tank in. But I'm working on this. These stock front bumpers are actually got some weight to them. They're pretty decent. See, here's the back of it. It's got a nice little curve to it, kind of like a minivan, and the front is solid. I've heard that these stock bumpers actually do fairly decent. So I may hang on to it, but it's just really short. And yeah. I may cut this down just a little bit. I'm not sure yet. I may not. We are allowed a 12-inch, either a bumper shock that goes into the frame, which looks like I can probably do it on this. If I cut this out and run an actual, we're allowed up to a 3x3 square tube, which is a bit, which wouldn't work on this. But we're allowed square tube, round tube, or homemade bumper shock up to 12 inches. Or we can put a piece of plate, 3-inch tall plate, I think it's like 3/8 thick, and weld it to the side of the frame, which is probably what I'm going to do. And it will come to about here. From this surface to like about here or so is 12 inches, so that's pretty good. It's not bad. It's still, the way this frame is designed, the front's probably still going to go down, but whatever. Also, this lower motor mount, I don't know if you can see it, was junk on this car already, so I just took a piece of 1.5-inch square tube and drilled 2 holes 10 inches apart, center to center, and just bolted it in with some washers. It's good enough, it'll work. Also, on these radiators, why they say these things pop real easy? Well, not a lot of real estate, and I've already unbolted this. Here's the AC condenser, which is twisted because this car has been wrecked prior. We'll take that out. That's got some weight to it too. There's the radiator. Without it, the radiator's got some room now on the sides. That is the transmission cooler, which I'm going to loop the lines on it, so that way it's safe. Lower hose is still hooked up, fans still hooked up, training lines are still hooked up. The cooler is weird, the way they got them set up on these cars. Comes out of the trans, goes into the cooler. From the cooler, comes around to the stock cooler that's built into the radiator of automatic transmission cooler, or radiators. Then it comes out from this side of the stock radiator cooler back to the trans. So it's kind of neat. It's got double cooling. But I'm just going to loop it right here and be done with it so it's safe. The fan's coming out. I'm not going to run a fan. I'm probably not going to run a radiator just to save some room. I might be able to run this radiator. There's a little bit of room, but you can see that this radiator's actually pulled forward quite a bit. It should be like way back here. There's not much room between that compressor and the radiator, so that's why they bust also. I may not run a radiator and just loop the hoses since the fill neck's right here. Or I may go to the junkyard and get a radiator from a mid-90s or so Honda Civic, which is literally like this wide from here. And it's probably maybe the same tallness, maybe a little shorter. And put that right in right here. That way it has plenty of room to move around and be safe, so I may do that. Also, you can see how close, once again, this radiator actually needs to come forward, come back quite a bit, but there's not a lot of room between it and transmission down there. So that's just a little FYI if you plan on running these cars. Yeah, but there's your update number 3 on the PT Cruiser. I will post another one here soon. It's going to be ready to be putting the cage in. And soon we'll be putting the bumper on, moving the battery and the gas tank. And welding the doors up. Yeah. So there'll be at least 1 to 2 more videos, maybe 3. But we'll see. But there you go. Till the next one. Later, y'all.